This is the XPPen Magic Notepad, and it has a feature I've never seen on a screen before. Now, over the last few years, there's been a rise of e-ink tablets. Now, these are devices to help us slow down, disconnect from noise, and just put our phone away. But what if you didn't have to choose between peace and productivity? What if you could get the best of both when you wanted? Now, in this video, we'll be diving into the Magic Notepad from XPPen, covering everything from features, use cases, and design. Now, when it comes to the design, the Notepad, as you can see, is very clean and minimal. I was actually pretty surprised to see how high quality it felt when I took it out of the box. Now, it has a solid metal frame right here around the edges, and it has some matte finishes. It has a pretty slim profile, which makes it feel like a pretty premium piece of tech. Now, it's not super flashy by any means, but it really does feel good in the hand. Now, I appreciate that it has a very clear cutout for the pen, as you can see right here, and it attaches magnetically. There's no buttons cluttering the face. It's just pretty much clean lines. One thing though is I do wish that the bezels around the screen were a little bit slimmer. As you can see, it's very apparent that there's like the black bezel. I wish it kind of was full bleed. But I totally understand that they probably had to do that to accommodate some of the sensor or the camera up top, which we'll get into a little bit more later. Now, the silver finish is a nice touch around the edges and the back, and I think it will withstand fingerprints decently well, but doesn't mean you don't have to occasionally wipe it down. But the back also magnetically attaches to this case that it comes with, and it's super easy to take it on and off. Let me show you. This is the case, and it closes. So pretty cool, kind of like a very subtle magnetization to the case, but it's like the small touch that makes it feel premium, and I like that. Having the case be able to be removed on and off quickly is nice because sometimes I don't necessarily want this when I'm writing. I kind of want the tablet down on a flat surface like this whenever I'm using it. So that's a nice touch. Now, in terms of the screen itself, you get a matte surface that actually feels like writing on high quality paper, not glass. And it refreshes at 90 Hertz, which makes navigation and scrolling feel really responsive in a way most paper tablets can't really match. Now, some of the other tablets in this space feel slow and laggy, but I'm guessing they do that on purpose because personally, I never really liked it, but I see why they do that because they don't want it to feel like an iPad or make it feel like a tech tablet. But I love that the XPPen feels really snappy when you're using it, but still has that paper tablet-like feel. The display uses TCL's NXT paper technology and is TUV certified for low blue light. In other words, this is really great if you want to use the tablet for long hours and low eye strain. Combined with the matte texture of the screen, it means you can use it for long hours without putting as much strain on your eyes as other devices we are used to using every day. But what really sets this notepad apart from the rest is something XPPen calls XPaper. It's their 3-in-1 nano texture display that mimics paper, but still allows for full color. As you can see, there's 3 modes. We're gonna go regular mode, enter mode. Kind of cool, dude. It's kind of cool. When I first saw this feature, it was hard for me to decide whether or not it felt like a party trick or an actual valuable feature and innovation on existing tech. But after testing, I found a few different use cases. Now, first, black and white mode. This one is perfect for distraction-free writing, sketching, or reading. Now, this is going to be the closest thing to a traditional tablet or ebooks that we see on the market today. Then there's the light color mode, a muted palette with just enough color for diagrams, annotations, or light creative work. I found myself using this mode the least, but I suppose it's a good middle ground if you want something less distracting as a full screen, a full color screen, but also not a full-blown black and white screen. Finally, we have regular mode or the true color mode. True color mode gives you the full color spectrum, and it's great for more visual tasks like media, digital journaling, sketching in color, artwork. The true color makes it feel like any media tablet we're used to using for things like apps, web browsing, or entertainment. Now, I find it really cool that you can have this option alongside a more e-ink feel with the black and white mode. Now, this included X3 Pro Pencil 2 is also worth highlighting. It doesn't need charging, which is a huge plus because we all know we have way too many devices to charge nowadays. So pretty much you store it away right here and you can use it anytime you need to write or use a stylus. Now, XPPen is also known in the industry for their other drawing pad products, so they know a thing or two about precision when it comes to a stylus. The pen tip has just the right amount of resistance, like writing with a smooth gel pen. Now, there's even a customizable function button on the pen, which makes switching tools or activating actions seamless. Where this product completely diverges from traditional e-ink tablets is that it runs on Android OS, which means you're not really locked into a proprietary system with their own apps only. You can download your favorite apps straight from the Google Play Store, like Kindle, Google Docs, Gmail, or even Zoom. And yes, it has a built-in camera for video calls, which honestly, I was pretty shocked to see that it had a camera in something this slim, and that's pretty nice. I don't know how much I would actually use this to make Zoom calls with, but I would imagine if I'm on a trip or I'm traveling, sometimes you have to hop on a quick call and you don't want to use your phone. If I have this in my backpack or my tech bag, I could totally see me using this in a pinch. So it's a full tablet experience in a paper-first design with a note-taking focus. But this could either be a positive or negative thing depending on how many of you love the Android OS workflow. So if you're not a fan of Android, that's gonna suck. A cool little add-on is the included XPPen Notes app that is free and it comes preloaded onto the device. And it syncs well for handwriting, organizing ideas, or even converting notes into text. You can set the pen button to open the Notes app right away as well, which is a nice little touch. So if you're a student or you're someone who just takes notes often, maybe have your laptop and then you have the tablet on the side and you can take some notes, it's a pretty pleasant experience to have that to the side. And obviously in the ink mode where it's pretty much black and white, it does kind of feel like you're writing on paper. There's even a record function on the Notes app. So if you're listening to a lecture or you're trying to take notes as someone's talking, the XPPen tablet will be recording the talk with the audio, and then you can also write down your notes and then convert your notes into text later. Now, in terms of competition, I've used the Remarkable tablet, and while it's great for writing and focus, that's kind of where it ends. It doesn't try to be anything else, which is fine, and that's what they're going for, but it also limits what you can do at a pretty high price point as well. I've also used an iPad Pro for note-taking, and while it is powerful, it's never truly replaced the feeling of writing on paper, not even with those matte screen protectors or paper-like screen protectors. And because the iPads are so powerful these days, they pretty much become more like a mobile computer than they do a writing notepad. The Magic Notepad, though, hits that middle ground, and I think it gives you the functionality of a tablet, the quiet focus of a paper-like device, and the flexibility to switch between those two worlds. And here's the bonus. It's cheaper than most of the competition out there. It also includes the stylus and the case in the box without any additional upsells. Although I will say, one gripe I have about the case and the pen is I don't know how I feel about this right here, like how it's just jutting out. I kind of wish they integrated the pen on the side or vertically, but it's fine. Maybe that was maybe there's more to this that I don't know. But if there isn't, there's literally just a bubble on top of the tablet case. So I don't know how I feel about that, but it's fine. Oh, there actually maybe is. Bro, check this out. So you can kind of put the pen in this little slot when it's flat, like this. So then I guess it's like a little pen holder, right? So you can put it here, but then when you close it, it snaps back. Okay, that I kind of see the appeal, but I wish this color even matched that. But let me try to take a stab at de-influencing you. Of course, no piece of tech is perfect, and there are some things that I do view as potential downsides. It won't run iOS apps, AKA Apple apps, or your Apple ecosystem and how you operate in that world. So if you're locked into the Apple ecosystem, that's something to keep in mind. And while the battery life is good on this, about 8 to 10 hours with light use and maybe 3 to 4 with heavy use, it's not quite the multi-day battery of like a true e-ink tablet. Some e-ink tablets on the market can hold a charge for like literally over a week, maybe 2 weeks with daily usage, just because it requires less power and less processing. But in this case, because there's more power and it's kind of, you know, a 3-in-1, and it has full color and the LCD and the OS, it does drain battery a bit faster. So is it worth it? If you've been stuck between buying an iPad, a Kindle, or a Remarkable, this could be the right balance. In some ways, this device feels like a jack of all trades, but master of none. But that might not necessarily be a bad thing. It lets you write, read, sketch, watch, browse, and create without limiting you in any way. It's not trying to be a tablet that occasionally lets you take notes only. But it's also not just a paper tablet that limits your options. At the end of the day, this one device has the potential to replace 2 to 3 devices in your tech bag. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try to answer and get back to all of them to the best of my ability. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.